Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to the second episode in our webinar series, where we will be discussing how service robots can be used to help companies achieve their business objectives across various industries. My name is Don Tudor-Dane, and I'm the Senior Sales Representative at GlobalDWS.
My name is Jessica Nelson, and I'm the Technology Marketing Analyst at GlobalDWS.
And we are very happy to be your speakers for this episode in our webinar series. So for today's agenda, we're going to start by giving some background information to the company. Then we're going to give you an introduction to service robots for those of you that are unfamiliar with the term. We're then going to dive into today's service robot market and why it continues to grow year over year and will likely continue to grow. And then we're going to talk about some business applications for service robots in healthcare, hospitality, in retail, and education. And at the very end, Jessica and I are going to share with you some of our closing thoughts, and we have a demonstration plan for one of our service robots. So you'll just have to stick around till the very end to see it. And if you have any questions about the service robots that we offer or the demonstration, feel free to send us an email or you can call us, and all of the contact info will be located at the end of the webinar presentation. To give you some background information on the company, GlobalDWS is a systems integrator and a solutions provider, which means we conduct assessments on our clients' current digital infrastructure and their business practices to understand their needs and how deploying certain new technologies in their organization will impact the way they work. Once we've gathered that information from the client, we work with our technical team to develop customized solutions, usually with emerging technologies, and then integrate those solutions into our client's current digital ecosystem so that the new technology that we developed works in unison with the existing technology that the organization has been using. And to end off, I just want to briefly share our company's mission. So our mission is to leverage our team's vast experience from working in different industries and our expertise in emerging technologies to deliver advanced workplace solutions to the market and support our clients and partners to achieve their business objectives through innovation and design thinking. So now we're going to give an introduction to service robots. And to do that, we thought it would be good to explain the differences between industrial and service robots. To explain these differences, we're going to look at three main differentiators. The first being how these different types of robots are being used. Second, the different types of companies or organizations that use industrial robots versus service robots. And third, how the market adoption for these two types of robots have progressed over the years and what the maturity of these robots are in their respective markets. So to look at the applications, service robots have a broad range of applications in domestic and commercial uses, whereas industrial robots are typically only found in commercial settings. Service robots are also able to perform a variety of tasks, with it also being able to interact with its environment using sensors and cameras, whereas industrial robots are usually used to perform one specific task over and over again, and industrial robots are usually anchored into one place, like the industrial robot arm that you see on the slide in front of you. When you look at the target customers for these kinds of robots, it's quite common to find service robots being used by service-oriented businesses like companies in hospitality or in retail, whereas industrial robots are typically used by goods manufacturing companies for their ability to improve manufacturing processes, lower cost, and automate tasks that pose a safety risk to humans, like trying to lift a very heavy object or a very heavy car part. When you look at the maturity of each of these types of robots in the respective markets, it's quite clear that industrial robots have matured much further than service robots. The main reason is that service robots are much more difficult to design because they have to be mobile and in most cases autonomous and interact with its environment, which could either be objects moving or people moving. Whereas industrial robots are a bit easier to design and develop because they have to be stationed in one specific spot, so they're almost never mobile, and they're performing one task over and over again, which makes them a bit easier to design and develop.
Robotics have the ability to act as the missing link between our digital and physical world. Service robots are transforming efficiency, safety levels, and providing enhanced levels of service in a wide range of industries. Regardless of the industry, service robots are mainly used to enhance employee onboarding, facilitate a productive and efficient work environment, and even assist those with social or physical disabilities. The benefits to human resource management alone have demonstrated potential to significantly decrease operating costs in a variety of business use cases. So the question is then, why service robots? So as we spoke about earlier, robots have the ability to conduct tasks that have no room for marginal error. For instance, a human can become tired, bored, distracted, or disgruntled while conducting a task that requires consistency, accuracy, and precision for longer periods of time. Maybe a minor slip up, or in some cases could prove fatal to them or their coworkers. So if we follow this path of logic, we can begin to see how robotic implementation can improve the health and happiness of employees and staff, and how the automation of repetitive grudge work can actually enable employees to conduct more meaningful work, which ultimately enhances job satisfaction and staff retention. At GlobalDWS, our objective with our solutions is to augment or complement human faculties to improve productivity, health and well-being, and operational efficiency across organizations. Human-robot interaction, or HRI for short, is an emerging field of academic study that focuses on the interaction and user experience between androids and humanoids. So one emerging school of thought in this research is that instead of focusing on which system, the human or the AI, outperforms the other, we should shift our perspective so that human workers are able to understand the robot as part of their team, where a collaborative working system could potentially maximize the positive outcomes of their labor and simplify their workflows. A personal favorite example of mine is a hypothetical case for collaborative robot systems for a radiologist. So in the example, it's posed that a radiologist may become demotivated or purposeless when she finds out that her years of study and training pale in comparison to machine learning's capacity to read medical imaging. However, the radiologist likely has many responsibilities beyond reading the medical images and is probably only might be a small aspect of her work. By letting machine learning take care of the reading, the radiologist gets a second opinion and also more time to allocate to the one-on-one patient consultation, which we can't automate. Depending on what the radiologist constitutes as meaningful work, a cobot, which is short for a collaborative robotic system, would increase her access to meaningful work and accelerate her job satisfaction. So next, we're going to be talking about the business applications for service robots. Service robots in finance today are primarily focused on process automation and service improvement. Robotics are in high demand in the finance industry for promoting banking solutions and assisting customers in servicing their accounts. We developed a custom service robot for BMO to promote their digital banking solutions while also creating brand awareness at branches, road shows, and marketing events.
So now we're going to look at healthcare. The first reported use of a robot in healthcare dates back to the 80s when a robotic arm assisted in carrying out a surgery for the first time. Since then, there have been huge advancements in sensor technology, autonomous navigation, and human presence detection, just to name a few, which means that service robots are able to better support healthcare providers by assisting them to carry out more complex tasks rather than just the simple ones. And when you look at today, due to the pandemic, the use of service robots in healthcare has risen dramatically because healthcare providers are challenged with trying to still maintain a certain quality of healthcare to the patients while also ensuring the safety of the patients by minimizing the spread of different bacteria and viruses. Service robots can assist with these challenges by carrying out repetitive and monotonous tasks or tasks that do not require the healthcare provider to be in person with the patient, like in-building deliveries for food to a patient, or if it's some supplies that have to go from one end of the hospital to another. Could also involve disinfecting patient rooms, performing screening tests when new people enter the hospital or even the senior home, and also telepresence robots, which allow healthcare providers to conduct virtual appointments with patients without even being in the same room. In the end, the benefit of having service robots in healthcare is to streamline certain tasks in hospitals or in a senior home, which ultimately frees up time for the providers to focus more on the needs of the patient and less on the monotonous and repetitive tasks that they're currently spending a lot of time doing.
Education presents a very good case for service robot implementation, as robotics can promote engagement among students, staff, and alumni, as well as improve equal access to information. For example, people who may have visual impairments or maybe aren't familiar with technology can interact with the robot via voice. We have a robot named Georgie at George Brown College, located in downtown Toronto. And we found that students passing by Georgie will stop and interact with it, not only for its new and innovative technology, and how exciting this may be, but because it also offers a new way to learn about their community and get involved with their peers. At ceremonies and job fairs, you can find raffles and other incentive-driven functions presented on Georgie.
So for hospitality and retail, we live in an era of constant change, whereby the highly competitive environment and the rapid change in customer preferences have put pressure on businesses, especially service-oriented businesses, to reevaluate the way they deliver their services and finding new ways to improve customer experience. This is especially true in hospitality and the retail sector because customer preferences have evolved to wanting the best quality service with precision and accuracy in the shortest time possible. Maintaining this level of expectation becomes easier when you start to consider how service robots can be used to automate the time-consuming and repetitive tasks like seating guests at a restaurant, performing screening tests upon entry, and ensuring that all high-touch areas are disinfected frequently. These are all tasks that can be automated by service robots, which allow the workers to focus on delivering the best customer experience for their patrons. Most people are familiar with the hardware aspect of service robots, meaning the body, but now we're going to look at the different service robot applications that we have in our robot app library that leverages the existing features of the robot to enable the robot to perform specific functions. For example, most service robots have a camera, a speaker, a microphone, a LiDAR sensor, and a front-facing tablet. With our telepresence app, it allows the user to connect to the robot and conduct virtual meetings completely remotely. In the app, you can remotely drive the robot throughout a building. You can start and end video calls. You can invite other members of your team to join the call remotely, or you can set up a schedule for future meetings, which will allow the robot to autonomously navigate to the location of the meeting in a predefined position and start the meeting at the correct time. This application can be especially useful in healthcare because the challenge for healthcare providers, once again, is how can we maintain a certain quality of healthcare to our patients while reducing the unnecessary face-to-face interactions. So with the telepresence app, healthcare providers can conduct these virtual meetings with patients that may have COVID or any other type of infectious disease that will pose a safety risk to the staff member that has to go into the room, and then everyone else that they have to interact with afterwards. So with service robots and our telepresence app, it allows healthcare providers to once again maintain a quality of healthcare while reducing the spread of infectious diseases throughout the building and the community.
Robots are actively used in healthcare and continue to grow quickly in both functionality and versatility. They are especially useful in healthcare as they are able to complete tasks that humans are either not capable of doing properly or simply don't have the time or patience to do, as they might be low in complexity and generally not worth the operational cost. When it comes to patient care, robots offer an angle that humans can't. These robots are incapable of judgment or emotions, so the function and experience they offer to all patients will be the same and always completed to the same degree of effectiveness with no bias or limitations. The goal for our service robots is to increase productivity and available bandwidth of our human resources so that they can do the more complex and sophisticated tasks. Service robots in healthcare can do just that. They're also significantly less likely to make mistakes, which makes them the ideal candidate for tasks that are crucial and identity-based. For example, delivering or administering medication. Recent advancements in telehealth platforms or telepresence nurses are a great example of this trend. Instead of a human coming into a patient room, a telepresence robotic platform would allow for face-to-face interaction between doctor and patient without running the risk of viral transmission. This would also decrease wait times and facilitate more timely medical intervention. With the use of recognition software such as facial or voice recognition, the robot could confirm the patient's identity and even dispense medication for them as needed. Social assistance and mental well-being robots, such as PAL, pictured bottom left on this slide, are also a growing trend in healthcare robotics. PAL is one of our robots deployed at a local senior home. During the pandemic, PAL has been helping seniors combat feelings of loneliness and isolation by promoting movement, communication with loved ones, and community engagement during a time where socialization between residents is limited.
So this slide is a breakdown of the robotics and 3D visualization services that we offer at GlobalDWS. And over the years, we've expanded these service offerings so that we can support businesses that may be at different stages along their learning and implementation journey for this kind of technology. So for example, maybe you're a company that's still in the earlier stages and you've recognized inefficiencies in your business operations and you've considered implementing a service robot or an automation tool within your organization to solve these challenges, but you're still a bit unfamiliar with the technology and the requirements to actually implement a service robot or an automation tool. Or you might be a company that's in the later stages and you're already familiar with service robots and automation tools, and you may even be actively using service robots on a daily basis. So regardless of what stage you're at, our services are meant to not only enhance your current understandings of these technologies, but we also can perform assessments on your current digital infrastructure and put together a complete roadmap and strategy plan to implement a service robot or an automation tool. We also offer training and workshops. We also conduct proof of concepts or demonstrations that are meant to allow companies to evaluate this technology on site at their location to give them a better understanding of how the technology works and how it can be used within your organization. So if you find yourself somewhere along that roadmap journey, or if you find yourself somewhere along that journey of learning and implementing service robots automation tools, we invite you to send us an email or call us, and we're more than happy to speak to you about how service robots or automation tools can be used to support your business objectives and long-term goals.
So to end the webinar, we decided to do a video demonstration of our disinfection service robot, or DSR for short. And throughout this video, I'm going to talk about some of the key features that really makes the DSR an innovative solution. So the DSR is a fully autonomous robotic platform equipped with high-intensity ultraviolet C or UVC lights and a chemical disinfectant sprayer. The DSR leverages its autonomous navigation system and IoT integration to communicate between the disinfection module and other robotic components, and intelligently navigates throughout the facility to ensure all identified areas are thoroughly disinfected. The DSR can be controlled via a mobile phone or tablet for operations that relates to the disinfection process and navigation. Controls for the UVC lights, disinfection sprayer, and navigation system provide staff and operators all of the functions necessary to operate the DSR. The DSR minimizes the risk of exposure to COVID-19 and other harmful bacteria and viruses by delivering measured doses of UVC light and chemical spray to targeted areas. The UVC lights are strategically positioned on the DSR hardware to maximize the field of coverage, allowing up to 220 degrees of UVC exposure. To increase the effectiveness of the disinfection process, a chemical sprayer system was added to the solution to disinfect areas that were not specified as disinfection points by the user. And lastly, with human safety as a top priority, the DSR is designed to take dedicated precautions during its operation. In addition to the safety measures taken by the autonomous navigation system, the DSR stands out by offering full 360-degree human presence detection using advanced computer vision. The human presence detection module notifies the disinfection system the moment a human is detected to turn off the UVC lights and pause the disinfection routine. Human confirmation is then required to resume operations.
So thank you for attending our second webinar in our Innovation in the Workplace series. We hope that you learned a little bit more about this emerging technology and how it can improve your business and organizational processes. In collaboration with George Brown College, GlobalDWS co-developed North America's first service robotics program offered as an online certificate through George Brown's Con Ed program. If you're interested in learning more about this course and how it can help you prepare for the future of work, visit coned.georgebrown.ca/courses and programs/service robotics program.
And if you're interested in learning more about our service robot solutions, or if you'd like to receive an in-person or virtual demonstration of one of our service robots, you can book a demonstration at our website, which is www.globaldws.com, or you can send me an email at dante.dardane@globaldws.com, or you can call us at 416-527-3725.